Melanie. It's nice to see you again. Before we get started in today's session, I just want to remind you about confidentiality briefly and just let you know, anything that you say stays between the two of us unless I feel like you're going to hurt yourself or others. I just wanted to make sure that you had an understanding of confidentiality before we continue with our session today.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Before we get started, is there anything that you would like to talk about specifically, or would you like to just pick up where we left off at our last session?
Probably just pick up where I was stressing out about my kid.
Okay. Yeah, I know you had mentioned that your kid she's graduating or promoting from 8th grade to high school, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so she just graduated, or promoted, I'm sorry, last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said before, and all throughout the time I saw you, I'm probably taking it harder than she is. I'm okay with the fact that she's going into high school.
Right.
I think it's just all the temptations that she's going to face.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all of these, like, personal anxieties that I need to, like, somehow not necessarily get over, but not let them overwhelm me. And, like, trust in, like, the situation, or trust in her.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of uneasiness and you feel a little unsettled about her moving on to high school.
Yes, and I think it's just because of all of the social media outlets of everything, and she was so secluded being from, like, her kindergarten to 7th grade. She was in a charter school, so her first year in a public school was really good. However, like, and I was afraid that she was going to be a follower, and not be able to stand up for herself and just be like, no, I don't want to do this, or like, if someone's making fun of somebody, like, just kind of, like, not necessarily jump in, but not necessarily say, like, it's not right.
Right.
That she was just going to kind of be that person. But she's proven me wrong, which is good. So, like, with volleyball, she's a captain of her team. She's never played before, so she's putting herself out there. So I'm really hopeful that we continue that throughout the summer and keep her motivated for sports, so then that way when she goes into high school, she's got that positive reinforcement, so she can't fall into, like, the temptations of school.
Good, yeah. So it sounds like she's had a lot of really positive experiences with school and friends so far, but you also mentioned feeling like you have some own personal insecurities about the situation.
I do, because growing up, by the time I was a freshman in high school, I already lost my virginity, and I was already dabbling into, like, alcohol and smoking cigarettes, and it was all the outside influences. So I don't want her to go into that, and I think that I'm already, like, facing, like, the things that aren't even happening. And I don't know if it's just because I'm, like you said, like, going into that. I don't think she's going to. Like,
right.
But I don't know.
Right.
So I need to, like, separate the two, but I don't know how to.
Yeah. Yeah. So you feel like you need to trust her a little bit more? Is that?
No, it's the thing is, it's not even her. It's me. Like, it's me. Like, I do trust her, and it's like, I just feel like that moment when it's not even the trust, but she's like, I'm not there. I'm like, what do I do? Like, why wasn't I there? Or, like, why didn't I see it? And God, I'm getting choked up.
That's okay. No, that's hard. And I think that there's a lot of pressure on you as a parent to do everything that you can to set your child up for success.
Yeah.
And I know that, because of you just expressing how worried you are about her potentially making some of the same choices that you did, I know that because you're aware of that, you're already setting her up for success. You're already doing what, she needs you to be doing for her and supporting her and loving her. And it's hard, though. It's scary.
It sucks.
It is.
It's uneasy. Like, she hasn't touched boyfriends yet. She hasn't dabbled into the makeup. She's beautiful, and she's got a funny personality, and so she's there. But I still feel like I guess I'm always just waiting for, like, when something big is gonna happen for her, because it hasn't happened yet. She's been the good kid. Like, she's been, making the straight A's. Like, she has the good friends. She doesn't, she's stays away from like all of it or stuff. Our communication is like she's still really quiet. So I'm the one who has to like pry everything out of her. Like, hey, what do you want to do today? Or do you want to call a friend? Or do you want to do this? Or do you want to make a cookie? Or do you like? So that's another challenge for me. And then I'm like, am I being that parent? Like, it's too much. Like, she like, die slow, Mom.
I think my computer stopped recording. Oh no, we're still good. Okay. I'll cut that out too. What was I going to ask? So do you feel like her not communicating with you is creating also just some uneasiness?
Yeah, I think it's the uneasiness because, like, again, it's my own mind wandering, and it's like, does she just not want to talk about it, or does she not feel comfortable talking about it? You know, there's like she's still shy, so she's still a kid, but like incidences in her school, like her one friend that was on the volleyball team lost her virginity in the 7th grade, and it was recorded on the phone, and the whole school saw. So I found that out in the first volleyball game, that this is a school my kid's going to. I was like, no, I spent the first like 8 years of her life like making sure she stayed away from all of that. And so now it's like real world. So now it's like just a small open, like a small, I guess not eye-opening, but maybe eye-opening for me, like, oh, this is happening right now.
Right.
Like, okay, this is like, I was preparing myself, I'm like, no, okay, this already happened. The sex talk, it already happened. Like, the high school thing, like, it's already happened. Like, so I'm just, like, on eggshells.
Yeah.
So, and I trust her.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. Like,
so
again, it's me on my own social media and looking at the world, like, this cyberbullying is going on. I'm like, I don't check her phone because I don't have the reason to.
Right.
She's on TikTok and all that, and the 2 times I've seen it, she's got maybe 2 things on there. You know, it's like she doesn't even use it. So.
Yeah. I definitely, I hear you say, you know, you trust her, but there's still, you know, some influences that you're seeing on your own social media or maybe from other parents that don't necessarily have anything to do with your daughter, but it's just everything around her.
Yeah, the age group.
Right.
So it is coming from, I'm looking at it from all walks, but I see it from her close friends to like her friends from the volleyball team to like, again, social media outside, like not even in Arizona, like, you know, so you like, you hear like the sex trafficking, you hear, you know, everything. So it's like, how do you like get that out? How do you separate the two? Like, this is reality and like, this could happen, but I don't want to like overwhelm her. Especially, I don't want to do the wrong things before she was in high school.
Right.
And like push her the opposite way. Like, and I want to try to keep our relationship open because I didn't have that with my mom. Like, I didn't have the sex talk. I had the 30-minute sex talk. Then when it was too late, you know, it was like, and then it was like it was like, oh, before the talk happened in school, it was like the conversation was already over, and then it was like, okay, continue with PE. So it was like and I didn't talk to my mom about it because I didn't feel like I could. Like, she never had that open conversation with me to be like, hey, you know, let's come and talk about this.
Right.
So, but I don't know where she stands. I do and I know.
Yeah. So the not knowing is creating a lot of anxiety for you. Yeah. Well, I heard you, you know, say some things about all of the potential like negative things that can come out of her going into high school. What about some of the positives?
Volleyball. She's graduated actually since kindergarten. I think there's been two semesters or 2 quarters, whatever they call them, that she's gotten B's in. So she's graduated with A's and she's been on honors. So this past during promotion, she was acknowledged for that. So she had got all straight A's. So for high school, she does, if she continues to get straight A's, and she knows that it's a stretch because she's already got her high school credits. But if she does, she'll get a picking of her school in Arizona, like a full-ride scholarship. If she gets all A's and B's, NAU will pick her up. But so she does. She's got it all there. So it's just me, just like letting her, like like junior year, if she continues with like her being good in freshman and sophomore year, the goal is to get her in the culinary program in her junior and senior year. Mm-hmm. So, because it was either that or doing the program where she gets her associate's degree with her high school diploma.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know the expectations. Like she gonna be promiscuous and smart. You know what I mean? It's like I can't. It's like I'm glad that she's this.
Right.
But I don't want her to become this at all. I want her to keep her smart levels, and I need her to have her street levels match with her like intelligence.
Right. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Sorry, it stopped again. Okay. Yeah. So I definitely, throughout the session, I've heard you talk about all of the kind of insecurities maybe that you may be facing internally about your own high school experience and what you went through and not wanting to see your daughter make the same choices. And on the other hand, you've talked about how successful she's been in school so far, and it sounds like she has a lot to look forward to. So before we wrap up today's session, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, or anything else you feel like we weren't able to explore a little bit more?
No, I think that this is a good ending session for me because I was able to vent out, and acknowledge the fact that I think now it's more me. Mm-hmm. So I need to focus on myself and the insecurities of her going in there and her shine.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you again.
Thank you very much.